How would you gauge tech's response both on a corporate level and a personal level? And in what areas do you think they're going to have the most efficiency, whether it's on protective gear, treatments and therapeutics, vaccines, and so forth?
Across the board. The answer to the second question is across the board. On the first question, it's just been impressive, and both in the magnitude of some of the donations and then the scope of the donations, meaning the areas they're covering. Everyone from, you've got Ryan Peterson from Flexport working with Mark Benioff and others to import protective gear by the cargo plane load from overseas. You've got the Gates and others donating hundreds of millions of dollars to not just finding a cure or finding intermediate remedies, but also handling donations to food banks in the immediate term. And then you've got, there are a bunch of us, I and hundreds of others, just focusing more on the local level and trying to help out small businesses that are, really in dire straits getting through this, restaurants and cafes and the like. So I've just been struck by both the magnitude and the scope of the way tech leadership is digging in.
Dick, when people were trying to evaluate what the impact was going to be on this country, one of the things they kept saying was that we have the giants. We have the giants of innovation, the giants of big data. Have you been surprised or disappointed in, I guess, a lack of a federal sort of unified response through data and big tech to help answer some of the issues we face? Yeah,
the short answer is yes. And we've had previously have had people in there who understood these things deeply. DJ Patel, who had run big data, a number of companies out here in Silicon Valley, and then was in the White House administration and previous administrations. Those people have been in those roles in years past and working on this. I think one of the reasons you're seeing tech leadership out here dig in so heavily is just to be perfectly blunt about it, the understanding of math out here and the consequences of a virus with an R naught, an infection rate that seems to be pretty significant and speedy. And when you think about the mathematical consequences of something like that, you've got folks out here who understand that at scale and understand how bad it can be. I've been impressed by the governors of the various countries, both the mayors of San Francisco and LA and Governor Newsom, and how quickly we locked down out here. That probably had something to do with folks out here understanding how bad things could get. And then I've been impressed with the tech leaders sort of diving in to fill the void. What we're going to need is a federal action plan for what happens when this is over. Right now, you don't hear anything. And that's going to have to be how does everyone go back to work safely? I do know that there are a few CEOs working already internally in their companies on when we go back, how are we going to do this safely and make sure everyone's protected? We're going to need to do that at the federal level, though, as well, not just the company level.
Yeah, it's certainly a key question and one that I suspect is going to continue to evolve in the coming weeks, depending on that data and those numbers that we continue to get, and innovations and breakthroughs, Dick. In the meantime, I wonder what you think about what's been playing out on social media. You've had COVID-19 misinformation that has circulated. We've seen WhatsApp, which is owned by Facebook, take some steps. For example, there was a Washington Post article earlier this week that on Twitter, almost 60% of false claims about coronavirus actually remain online. How do you think those companies are policing? How do you think they're doing in terms of policing some of this misinformation? And does it set a precedent for other types of misinformation when eventually we do come out of this crisis?
Yeah, I think, and we've had this discussion, I think, last time I was on the show.
Yeah.
These companies are doing the right thing by starting to get more aggressive. The challenge is, once you decide you're going to police what's true and what's not true, it's going to be a never-ending rabbit hole. You're just going to go down. You're going to have people saying this is true, and people saying the same thing is not true, and you're going to have just gray area across the board. So there's no surprise that the Washington Post and others are going to find situations and instances in which these 500 tweets have been taken down and these 5,000 tweets are left up. It's just going to be a never-ending battle. But it's one, again, as we've discussed before, that I think these platforms need to step forward and take a more active role on. And I'm glad to see them. This has unfortunately been the driving force behind it. But better that they're starting now, particularly when so much misinformation about this can be deadly and be deadly in the near term.